Yeah, good evening, ladies and gents. Can you all hear me at the back? Yeah, good stuff. Well, for the first time today, in 17 months, I put a collar and tie on. So if I look a bit sort of strained around the neck, I think either the shirt has shrunk in the wardrobe or the neck may have grown slightly. I'll let you make your own mind up on that. And brand new shoes, which are killing me. And a pair of trousers that I got bought for Christmas. This is only the second time I've worn them. So good things going on here this evening, and hopefully you'll understand the reason why we wanted to get everybody together this evening. It has been 2 years, it's been a long time, but I'm pleased to say that during that time we were able to get, certainly last season, some championships and runners-up sorted out, and we hope this year that we can have a proper full-on go at a full season, which with your help and you doing the things that we want you to do will make it a very, very pleasant experience. First of all, can I thank you all for making the effort to come this evening. For a lot of you, you've probably driven a long way, and we do appreciate that. I think we've all zoomed out now, if I'm being honest, team meetings and Zooms. I've done my own day job for 17 months over Zoom, which has been great because it means that I've been able to enact business, but you do miss the face-to-face and the little bit of banter that might come up as we go along with certain people that I've known in here for a long time, who I would consider almost friends. Where's Duncan, Brian and a few others, so you just be prepared, boys, all right? But no, it's lovely to see you all. And when we get to the end of this, if you've got any questions, then please feel free to put your hand up, and I'm more than happy to try and answer them for you in a positive way. As Richard said, I was dragged in early today by the professionals. We've got Sam there who's filming this evening, so if you told your missus, sorry, if you told someone that you're elsewhere, you're going to be in trouble because this is going out across all channels soon. Or it might actually give you an alibi, who knows, I don't know. But in a positive way, this will come out and hopefully you'll get a chance to see bits of it across our social media channels over the next couple of weeks. So what's happened in the last 17 months? Obviously, I've had COVID, like probably some of you had. I've been double jabbed. I was double jabbed and then I got COVID, which was a bit weird. But there we are, we're still here. I know on a serious level that we've all probably known somebody or we've maybe lost somebody. So I think it's just appropriate, just for 10 seconds, I'm just going to shut up and maybe we can just remember those folk that weren't lucky enough to come through what's been a horrible 17 months. And I think it's just nice to remember one or two people that you may know or that from the world of football and friends and family that may have struggled from COVID. So I'll shut up for 10 seconds now. Thank you. That's great. That was one rhinoceros too, right? I think so anyway, but that's kind of nice. So now we'll get back to the positive stuff. Me personally, my Mrs. Brooke dying at the back, we were very, very lucky. Most of you we know by now. We had a little grandson 6 months ago called George, who's become, you saw his picture 4 months up on the wall. He's become a fantastic part of our lives, and we feel kind of really, really blessed that we've been lucky enough to have our first grandchild. Any other granddads and grandmas in the audience will kind of understand where we're coming from. I never knew it could be so good. I never knew it could be so much fun. And I never knew it would change the way I see things now, because we've been through the COVID, and every Tuesday morning, instead of going to work at 9 o'clock, which I've always done, I'm in the little pool at David Lloyd with George doing swimming lessons. Oh, it's great fun. There's me and 5 ladies and their little babies, and we just have a whale of a time for half an hour. So I don't start work till 11:30 on a Tuesday. I've done 40 odd years working. It was never in my psyche to not take time off or to do things. But now I think we've reflected in a slightly different way. So bringing it around to the world of football, I think for the boys and the girls that are playing, for parents, for you guys as coaches, managers, club secretaries, we've got that opportunity to kind of go again. Who knows what's round the corner? You know, who would have said 2 weeks ago that we'd be seeing what we're seeing in Afghanistan? The world is changing quite fast, but in all amongst that, football is a great thing that brings us all together. You know, we can all go out. I mean, I went to my first Premier League game on Saturday. I did take the trip to Chelsea to watch Palace. I'm not quite sure why I bothered in the first half, because we don't know where the penalty box is, we have no idea where the goal is, and we had no shots. But it was great to be out in the fresh air, that was the only thing. But the other thing was, of course, they haven't changed the one thing that really bugs me in the Premier League. You buy 2 bottles of water, they won't let you keep the bottle tops. Because do I look like the sort of person that's going to fill my water bottle up, put the top on and throw it at people in the crowd? Do I? Maybe I do. But that's my big thing this year. I'm going to put pressure on the Premier League to allow me to have a bottle of water which I can put a lid on, because it's driving me nuts. But we're back to Selhurst on Saturday for the first time since the 7th of March 2020, so we're looking forward to that when we host Brentford. So I'm very, very fortunate that I get to see Premier League football on a regular basis, and then on a Sunday I can come out and watch the guys and girls that you people coach or you people are part of, and it's a fantastic place to be. It's all about the kids. One thing you want to tell your kids this season, or the boys that are playing, is that the Kent Youth League is a route in to Love Island. Now, I've never seen Love Island before, but I got the note through that Aaron Simpson was my under-16 Kent FA captain when I was running the rep side for Kent. I know Aaron really well. I talked to him on a fairly regular basis, but he never told me he was going into the whatever it's called. So I'm now hooked on Love Island. That's how bad life has become. I am now watching Love Island just to see what level of stick he's going to get. And in fact, if he wins the 50 grand, I'll be on the phone quicker than anybody, because I'll ask him to put a chunk back to the Kent Youth League for all those games we allowed him to play. So it's not about football anymore, guys. It's about getting into Love Island. So just get that message out there. We're not interested in providing professional players. There's a nice thing on Twitter this week. One of the year from Belvedere boys has just signed his first year pro contract with Palace. I've seen the lad play when he was playing in the league, and I shall follow his development. But there's lots of good stories, both at local level and in the professional game, where we've got kids coming through and they're out there doing good things because of what you guys do. So the plan tonight is to run through a few procedures, but also to thank you guys for what you do, and we're there to support you, okay? I think the message that I really want to put across tonight is that there will be a few incidences, there always is, but tell us about it and we will do our best to do something. The one thing I'll say, which is always, I think, quite important, I don't have any special powers that are over and above the law. I know sometimes that clubs ring me up and they think that we can do things that maybe the police can't do, or others. I can only go by what's in our rule book, which is last year's, this year's is on its way. That's what binds us in, but I don't want I don't want kids being verbally abused. I don't want adults drinking round the pitch when they shouldn't be. I don't want parents screaming abuse at people, because that's not what this league's about. If they want to go and do that, then go and play somewhere else on a Sunday. I'd like to think that the majority, and those of you that are here tonight, are the teams and clubs that will cause us no problems whatsoever. On my naughty boys list, which I won't actually read out, but you might be able to read it through, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 clubs that haven't made the effort this evening. And I guarantee you, those 19 clubs will provide us with enough fines for us to be put on evenings like this, which are not cheap, but we can afford to do it because they'll pay for it. And it's a really sad state of affairs. You guys will be fine. I know you will. But what I'm going to do over the next 20 minutes is to take you through, and many of you would have seen this, but I'll try and make it as interesting as I can, what we call a guide to best practice. We have got new managers and clubs in here this evening. You're very welcome, and this is just a little opportunity to show you how we want things to be done, because as I said right at the beginning, the league mirror images what happens at senior football, so the paperwork needs to be fairly good. So at the end of my talk, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you've got. Just a few things that might be helpful. We finally got our affiliation confirmed yesterday by the Kent FA, and the FA have now given us access to full time for fixtures. I'm advised by my fixture team that we should get some fixtures out onto full time by the weekend. I know some of you have been giving me, quite rightly, dog's abuse about when the fixtures are coming up, but we have been dealing with it. It's not been our fault. We've been waiting for clubs to affiliate. We've been waiting for the Kent FA to affiliate us. That's all been done now, so hopefully it's plain sailing. The Kent County Cup, for those of you that are affiliated to Kent, the youth draws will be out next Friday. That's Friday the 27th. I spoke to Matt Dixon today at the Kent FA. So those of you that have entered the Kent County Cups, you will get your draw on Sunday. And as a note, the county cups obviously take priority over any league fixtures. So if you're in the county cup week 1 and we have the sort of rain we've had in the past and it gets postponed, then it goes on to the following week, and any games that we've got are postponed. The only time that doesn't change at all from our point of view, when we have League Cup games, and our League Cups, as you know, are across the whole county. If a League Cup game gets postponed on a Sunday, it automatically goes ahead the following Sunday, and any league fixture will be cancelled. So it's County Cup followed by League Cup followed by fixtures. Those of you that are part of the London FA, exactly the same thing applies. The London FA have already sent out their dates for their rounds of the Cup. I don't think they start until October, but again, if you need any information on that, get hold of your fixture secretaries. I've only got one fixture secretary here this evening. Pat, is that right? So Pat, stand up at the back because he thought he was going to get away with this. Pat is our under 15 fixture secretary. So if you've got any questions about fixtures at the end, rather than come to me, go and speak to Pat, he'll help you. And alongside Pat is someone we've recruited recently, Adam. Adam back was with us before. Adam will be looking after cups this season. So those two guys at the back will help you with any fixtures. But we are hoping to have them out in the next 48 hours and hopefully you'll be able to see what games you've got. The plan is we're going to go right through to Christmas with the first bunch, and then obviously after the first month we'll try and get the rest up. All I would ask you as a club, if you've got a pitch permit and you want a home game, tell the guys that you've got a pitch permit. The biggest frustration for us is that we put you a game when we think you've got a pitch permit and then you haven't got a pitch permit, and it causes us quite a few issues. Not me, because I don't do it, but I get moaned at by the fixture team, and so I'm asking you, if you can, wherever possible, to send a list through for when you want games. You should hopefully know when you've got your pitches. If you're lucky enough to have sole use, fantastic, but many of you share, many of you struggle to get pitches, and I totally understand that. We will try and work with you. We've added the extra kick-off times this year. For those of you that were awake during the AGM, all right, we have got a few more extra kick-off times that you can take advantage of this year. I'm pretty sure we've added 12:30 for grass pitches, and we've also added one or two more for all weather as well. So we've tried to listen to what you wanted, and hopefully across the board we can get all of the games played. So that's broadly speaking where we are at. The season starts on Sunday the 12th, in case you haven't read any of the correspondence that's coming out, and we will, subject to the season going relatively normally, we will take 2 Sundays off over Christmas and New Year. Okay, so give people a chance maybe this year to have a proper Christmas. We won't play Easter Sunday, but we go right through to the, third Sunday in May. I think it's about 34, 35 Sundays. So hopefully we've got more than enough time to get all of the games played, plus your cup games, okay? So we are keeping the divisions to around 10, 11. There's one I think that's still at 12, but obviously we want to get the fixtures played and get as many as we can played whilst the weather is good. That is the overall plan. Okay, so the one thing I would say just finally, before I go on to this, we will hopefully have cup finals again this year. We have done the same deal that we've had but not been able to use for the last 3 years with Stagecoach. Stagecoach Bus Company are going to provide each age group winning cup team with an open top bus, for which you will have use of for a half a day or part of a day to parade your cup around your local area. It'll give you a chance to go and show some of your keen rivals what winning the cup's all about, and hopefully it'll be something that the boys will remember, and parents and coaches and the club itself. So we've managed to negotiate that, which is all good. And we've also done a sponsorship deal this season with Cat GK. Now I'm supposed to be wearing these, but I think I'll probably look a bit silly with my hair wearing yellow gloves. But what Cat GK are going to do is they're going to give a pair of gloves away at the end of every month for the whole season to a goalkeeper in every age group. So 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s and 18s, they're going to give him 5 pairs of these gloves away in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April and May. And they're going to decide how they're going to do it. We were going to do it with the team that doesn't concede any goals, but of course there might be a team that doesn't concede goals 1 month and 2 months. But Adam and Charlie both played in this league. They both play senior football, which is why they're not here tonight. But if you are looking for a deal with goalkeepers' gloves, please look on our website and please give them a try. You'll all get a 10% discount on whatever they sell them for. And they asked me if I would just show you these. So we got yellow ones, we got white ones, we got black ones. But if you want to come and have a look at the quality of them afterwards, then please come up and see me, and I'll happily let you play with my gloves. Okay, no better offer than that you're going to get tonight. So that's all good from our point of view, and we've got all our sponsors in place for the cup finals. We've nearly got all our grounds sorted out, so we're almost there on that side of things. So we'll go through a little bit about best practice. This is all part and parcel of what we hope is going to make your job as easy as we can possibly do. Letting your opponents know what the situation is as far as you're the home team, you should be writing out to the away team and the referee at least 7 days before the fixture is played, but you have up until Monday midnight to tell or to send a copy of your match confirmation to the league so that we know that you've sent it out. You might not be able to read the blue thing, but it does say confirmations with an S at kentyouthleague.co.uk. Please make sure that you send a copy of that every single time. On your match confirmation, you should tell, as the home team, you should tell the away side your colours. In this league, the away team changes, and also the colour of your goalkeeper, purely and simply because not the colour of your goalkeeper's shirts, so I don't get into trouble, and make sure there's no clashes. Okay, we ask you to ask your goalkeepers to avoid playing in black because our referees will make the goalkeeper change. Okay, so try and avoid black goalkeeper shirts. There's some quite leery ones out there at the moment, which I'm sure the boys have got hold of, but that's the first part. So Monday midnight, you must send the confirmation. What that means is that people like Pat can then go into the confirmations and check off that the match confirmations for the under 15 teams that he's looking after match up with what's on full time. There's nothing more frustrating for us when one or two clubs decide that, well, yeah, we might have been playing at ABC, but we've decided to play at DEF and we haven't told the league. Because not only does that mean that they're breaking the rules, it also means that the referee has been told to go to the wrong place. And then the first thing they'll do is complain about not having a referee. So in that sense, please make sure that your match confirmation matches what's on full time. Should you want to change your ground, we do need a minimum of 7 days notice. Okay, so if for a reason you want to change, I spoke to, I forget who it was, I think it was you guys, we said that you could change at relatively short notice. We're happy with that as long as we are told, okay, because mystic meg powers are not something that this league possesses. If you tell us, hopefully we can deal with it, and that's what we'll be looking for you to do. Okay, so tell us and we can deal with it. Refreshments, most important. If the facility allows it, okay, then we're quite happy to encourage you to offer refreshments to your opponents. If you're not going to offer refreshments, please can you let your opponents know, okay? a bit like the government, I'm going to sit on a fence on this one because the rules do change and it is absolutely down to the venue. We hope primarily that you can use changing rooms. We want changing rooms used first, and ideally we would like to have refreshments, but if it's not being offered, as long as you tell your opponent, then we haven't got an issue. Excuse me. Ah, that's lovely. So we move on to Tuesday. You'd have played the game on Sunday, and I'm sure all your players are looking to see what goals they've scored and whether they've appeared. We need your stats, please, by midnight on Tuesday. So that's who played. Obviously, that should match your team sheet, all right, because we're not silly. If we see a team sheet and we see a different player that pops up on full time, guess what? We're going to ask the question. You might think we sit there doing nothing all day, but I promise you, the odd one or two that do try it on, we will catch them. Good news is, if you haven't got a fixture by 9:30 on a Wednesday, you're free to go shopping. Sunday shopping, wonderful. Not. So you can go out, you can do what you like on a Sunday. Most clubs turn up and watch their next or the most serious opponents, and we get lots of teams turning up watching other teams play, but by Wednesday, not a problem. Friday, which is the thing that I always used to do, give the match official a ring. Check that he or she is still coming to your game. Make sure that they haven't pulled a muscle during the week, because referees have a habit of pulling muscles. I'm not quite sure what they do, but that's the usual excuse when they don't turn up on a Sunday, is that they've pulled a muscle doing something on a Saturday. Most of them do, in fairness, referee on a Saturday. So, bit of rapport. I always thought it was worth half a goal. Am I silly? I don't know. Pat, am I silly? Yeah, I'm silly. But I used to make the referee feel really welcome, make them feel as though they're part of the day, okay? They're really not the enemy. They're only my enemy on a Saturday when I'm at Palace, but then you wouldn't want to see me there anyway. But in the nicest possible way on a Sunday, they're your best pals, okay? If you get them on side, I guarantee you'll get more than your 50-50 decisions. That's human nature. But a phone call, they won't be upset. Are you coming along? Are you staying? Or are you going? So at the end of the game, you don't want to put refreshments out for them and find that they've gone off because you've wasted money. Would always suggest that you pay referees or ask them when they want to be paid. Some prefer to be paid before the game. Most do, because if they wait to be paid after the game, let's just say they haven't had their best game, the home team or the away team or the home team tends to forget to pay them. And then of course I get the phone call on Sunday, referee's not been paid, and I have to ring you up and say, pay the referee. So please make sure that you talk to the referee. Now I'm going to try and look at the next page here because I don't know what's going on. So, right, what's the next one on here? Slide 2. Look at this. Sunday. We all love Sundays, don't we? We're up at 7. What game are we going to? Have we got all our bits and pieces? Okay, just from the top down, we haven't at the moment, got the kits on the website. We're working on that. There's a little bit of an issue with some of the different designs of shirts that you guys have, but we will get that sorted. Check the match confirmation, okay? If you're the away team, you can't play in skins, all right? You have to play in a shirt. So I would suggest, if you're thinking about an away kit, probably get a plain white one. There's not many teams in this league that play in white, okay? And if they do, then you can wear your home kit, okay? But cheap and cheerful, plain white kit should suffice. Not good for washing, but it's good not to have clashes. I think always it's nice to meet and greet your opponents, show them to the dressing room, provide refreshments if that's what you said you're going to do, make them feel welcome. Okay? It is all about the kids, it is all about trying to invoke that sort of bit of sportsmanship that very rarely is seen in football. It's a shame because in other sports it's all the time, but I'm sure we can make that happen. Team sheets, okay? Nowadays, as you know, you can print off your players from whole game, and you can send a copy, or you can take a copy of your players' pictures. You're entitled to ask for your opponent's pictures so that you can marry up that the players that are playing match what's on that sheet, okay? It should also then match what's on the team sheet, so if you want to check something out, do it before the game, because once the game is played, it's very hard to then go against what somebody has done. If you think there's an issue before the game with a player playing that isn't registered, then the best thing I can suggest that you do is give me a ring. I've always got my phone on, and I'll try and talk whoever is doing it into maybe having a rethink, okay? Most teams know each other. 99% of games are played in this league without anybody trying anything silly. But if you do come across it, then challenge it before the game. So you should have a copy of your opponent's written team sheet, pads of which you're collecting at the end, and your opponent and you should turn up with your team squad, which will have the pictures and the names of the players. You're entitled to look at that as well. Okay? As we said, exchange and check squad lists. Our favourite one. There are a lot of managers and coaches in this league who think that everybody knows who they are. Okay? That might be the case, but if I turn up to a game and I don't know the manager, I'm only going to know the manager if he's wearing the ID badges, which Kat has spent the last 4 weeks moaning to me about, that she's got so much work to do and they're all ID badges, that if you don't collect them and if you don't wear them, I'm personally going to send her around to sort you out, okay? Because we want you to wear your badge with a bit of pride, really, because we've given you that badge. You're representing your club, you're representing that group of boys, okay? So when I turn up to a game, I always like to go and introduce myself to managers if I don't know them, and 9 times out of 10, they haven't got them on, they've got them tucked in, the dog's ate them, or whatever. If it gets reported, you will get a fine, okay? I'd like to see every game with the badges visible, please. If you're not playing on a senior ground, one side of the pitch should be roped off and separate technical areas marked out. And at least one of you must be a first aider. And please, please, please have a first aid bag. Running on with a bottle of water when someone's cut their head is not always a good way of stopping it from bleeding. Your hands won't stop it forever, okay? Think about that. You've got that responsibility, and hopefully you'll do that for me. Excuse me. Another one that we often get caught out with, you know the score, managers, if you're in there, it's a couple of minutes before kick-off, and you look around to find that willing volunteer of a dad to run the line, and you look around and they've all gone into the bar, or they've all crammed into the men's toilet or the portaloo, or they've run away. It's not the worst idea in the world to have a rota. I used to have 3 dads that were willing to run the line for me. Don't criticise them, because they'll chuck the flag at you afterwards, even if they get it wrong. It's not a bad idea to know who's going to be your club linesman. It's nothing more embarrassing for me when I'm at a game And I sometimes feel as I want to volunteer, but I don't, because you haven't seen me line. But you do see everybody running away, and I think if you can talk to parents and take it in turns, don't give it to the one poor man who does it every week and every week and every week, because they get fed up with it. Because unfortunately they do get abuse from opposition parents, which is something that we want to try and stop. So get 2 or 3 on board, that'll be fantastic. Then you get home, often difficult, very easy to upload the result when you've won. It's up to the home team to upload the result. The only time that you need to put it, if you're the away team, is if it's a county game and you're playing a non-Kent Youth League side. Okay, so if you're away to, I don't know, Snodland or something, then please make sure that you put your result in, please. We say 7 p.m. We're a little bit loose on that, but we like to see all the full time uploaded by the end. And then the best one of all, record your match officials out of 100. No referee, and we've got a few in this room, Mr. Reid at the back, Mr. Southgate, Mr. Back, used to be Mr. Murphy. No referee is worth 100, all right? Just by looking at them, they're not worth 100. Okay, regardless of what they do, all right? Have a look in the handbook, there's a proper guide, okay? We use your marks to decide on who gets cup finals. So if you just put 100, 100, 100 because you can't be bothered to actually mark the referee, there's a good chance that referee that you don't really like and isn't very good ends up with your cup final. And then you'll be mortified when you see him trotting out on the day, okay? So make sure that you're honest with the referees. We do look at the marks and don't mark them 61 when you've lost the game, because that ain't no good. We know you've lost the game. You're going to mark them 61 because you can't be bothered to put a report in. We just ignore them. You know, give them a little bit of thought. How do they look? Appearance, their positioning. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. But whatever they do with a whistle, are they whistle happy? Do you know? But they'll, you know, we would like to see that a little bit more than we do at the moment. So if I can ask you to do that, that would be fantastic. So, last but not least, we want all of your players and you to have the best match day experience possible. We try as a league to mirror image senior football. It's not rocket science. What goes on a Saturday, we try and replicate on a Sunday, because lots of you in this room are involved with the senior setup, and a number of the boys, quite a significant number, work their way through to the first team. Nothing better for us than to keep reading on social media that 2 or 3 lads have, you know, made the first team squad. It's fantastic, and that's what we're about. We do encourage players to thank the match official at the end of the game. That never happens. Most disappointing thing for me when I go to a game is at the end of the game you'll have 3 or 4 lads that will go up and thank the ref. The other 18 on the pitch will completely ignore the referee like he or she wasn't there. It's a shame, because that's probably the thing that referees appreciate most of all, is whether they've had a good game or a bad game. Just go up and thank them for doing it. You know, I know they get 30 quid, I understand that, but at the end of the day they're not professionals, and it would be nice to think that we could have both teams thanking the ref. Not sure about shaking hands at the moment. This was done a couple of years ago. Might be a fist, might be a hand. I'll leave you to decide that. But again, there's nothing nicer than seeing 2 teams come together and wish each other luck for the rest of the season. And I think probably the biggest message of all, as a manager or coach, you are a role model to your players and shape their behaviour. Your players watch you more than you think. There's nothing more true said. If you set the standards of those players in terms of discipline and what you expect, you will also have friends for life. Those young men will respect you. My own situation, after I take a drink, is I sell mortgages for a living. I've done mortgages now for about 6 players that played for me from under 9, under 10. There's nothing more rewarding than them coming to you as an adult and asking you to look after them when you've put time in to give them football on a Sunday. You know, you meet ex-players all over the place, you know, walking down the high street, and if you've done a good job and they respect you, they will come and talk to you. And I can't stress it enough. When I watch a game, I can tell immediately how the team is going to play from what the manager's doing. You know, the ones that run up and down the line, and they're shouting and screaming. You can't influence it that much. Once they walk across the white line, you really can't influence it that much. There's some, you know, there's half time before the game is when you do your bits and pieces. You can change a little bit during the game, but honestly, give them encouragement to play. You know, I was lucky enough to manage youth side for a long time, and then I was even more privileged to, you know, look after the Kent rep side for best part of 10 years. And we won lots of trophies in that time, not because of me, but because the players were good players, but they were disciplined. We never had a player sent off. We never had a player have a go at the referee, because if they did, cheers lads, I'll get someone else in. You know, referees won't change their minds. So from my point of view, I think that's probably the best message I can ask you to take away. And of course I do empathise that you have to deal with parents. I get that. It's not easy. You're not going to keep everybody happy. You cannot please all of the people all of the time. But if I can give any new coaches and managers coming into this league a little bit of advice, whatever you do, be honest. Don't lie to parents, don't lie to kids, be honest. Let them know at the start of the season what your philosophy is. If your philosophy is that you're going to pick the strongest team, there's nothing wrong with that if everybody knows about it. Because that gives little Johnny, who's on the bench the first week, an opportunity when he does come on to show you that he's worth a first team shirt the following week. And if he plays well, give him that shirt. If you're going to give everybody equal amount of time, which some clubs do, got no issues with that. As long as everybody knows, you'll get far less issues with parents. The one thing I hear when I'm standing amongst parents 6-7 games into the season, they're all moaning. They're not moaning at anything other than the coaches. Oh, he should have done this, he could have done that. Oh, we've got to play it down the channels and all this old nonsense. You know how the team's trying to play, but parents won't listen. If little Johnny's not playing, or they don't think little Johnny's getting enough play, then talk to them. If they're not happy, find them another team. Be good for you, because you won't wake up on a Sunday morning and think, I've got that issue to deal with. You know, it is a tough one. If you're a new manager and coach, it'll take you a little while, but you will realise, favourite saying, bad apple get rid, but also at the same time, make sure that you have a quiet word. Cool, that's my sort of match day summary. The sheets that are out there are for you to take away and look at. I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. If you want to put your hand up and tell me which club you're from, Duncan, then that will be good, and I'm more than happy to answer. So, Duncan, what's your question?
Long Lane, and so I have a referees meeting. Is there any chance in asking to acknowledge emails?
Absolutely, Duncan.
They're very poor at it.
Can you note that, Mr. Southgate? That referees team are not good at acknowledging emails, and we'll have a word with Mr. Duncan.
The referees, when you send out
Oh, the referees, okay.
Send out a fixture notification, still ringing them up on a Wednesday, say, did you get it?
Okay, fair point. I will feed that back, thank you.
The younger generation of today for you.
They're all on their phones, aren't they?
Oh yes, the sport time. Do you know the best way to communicate with them at a game? WhatsApp or text to get more out of the youngsters than anything else. I've always said that.
But Duncan doesn't know what WhatsApp is, so we're struggling.
The youngsters learn that. Yeah, take off your mention to him.
Anybody else want to ask me a question?
If Ken turns up at any of your games to watch, please do get him to run the line, because I can assure you he's very good at it. He's done a game, I done. Very good.
It's all right, you'll get your expenses for tonight in, there's no mention to do. No. Yes, my friend.
Ken, it's Pete Clementon Foresters. Question about the match day forms.
Yep.
During the pandemic, we moved to just emailing them across the opposition.
Yep.
And it was actually quite easy because
Yep.
you don't spend 10 minutes writing out. Are we now dropping that and going back to paper?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why we got 900 pads at the back. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if your opponent is happy for that, I've got no issues with that at all. But I'm told the referees, of a couple of referees who contact, they prefer to have a team sheet that's been handwritten. I think it helps with. I know you don't get any bookings, but if they have got a booking, they can tie it up with what's on the team sheet. So if you would, that would be great. But obviously, if things change in terms of if anything does come around with the COVID again, we'll let you know on that. Yes, my friend.
Mate, just want to clarify the refreshments part of it all.
Yeah, of course.
Just clarify it all. If we want to do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
And if we don't want to do it, we don't.
It's not a case of we don't. If the facility doesn't allow you to do it, then you don't. We don't have to worry about doing it. I know for a fact that some teams turn up and then they don't stay. That's not acceptable. If that happens and you've said we're offering refreshments and they don't stay, please let us know, because we will fine them and we'll pay you so that you're not out of pocket. Okay, and if you let us know, we'll do something about it. But it would be nice, but I'm not going to make it hard and fast this year, because different venues may have different rules as we progress through the season. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Good. Yes?
Ramsgate Football Club. I just want to ask about referees' fees for this season. Is it staying at £30 flat, no travel expenses? And is that the same for all age groups? We've got an under-18s prem for
Okay.
time.
The good news is I've spoken to all our referees before this evening and they've all agreed to do this season for nothing. And there's another pick just now. Yeah, it's £30, 13s, 14s, 15s and 16s. The Kent FA have not changed the payment of referee fees. Good for you guys, but I think they will have to review it at some point. And it's £40 at under 18s. And if you are in the Prem, that's £40 referee and the 2 assistants.
So £40 for each assistant as
Correct,
well?
yes.
Lovely, yeah.
But you don't pay obviously for the away game.
No.
But at the same time, in terms of if we put assistants on your game for cups, for example, cup semi-finals, we'll split the cost on that. Okay, so with cup semi-finals, when we put assistants on, we would probably split the cost for you. Okay, but it's £30 still. It hasn't changed.
No.
It gives a bit of a problem up in the north because London FA don't have capped fees, and some leagues, which remain nameless, will pay 45, 50 quid just to stop us from using referees. But I've tried, I've argued it, but it falls on deaf ears, and so I can't do any more. Obviously, I'm probably only one person that fought against it, but it's uniform across the whole of Kent now, so it means that referees get paid the same in every league.
And does the league appoint the linesman as well?
If we were going, yeah. Oh no. If you're in the Premier, you just to clarify, the Premier Division is under 18 teams that use their first team pitch, okay, and they are guaranteed 3 officials. We set this up more than a few seasons ago. So if you're in the Premier League, you get 3 officials, and they're all paid obviously the £40. But that's because you're using the first team facility. Anybody else?
Again, Phoenix Sports.
I know, Brian.
Just confirm the
No.
full-time results.
Yeah.
Still going to be the text and
Yes.
texting back. Still that process.
I understand that, Kat, is it? See, I was very clever. When full-time was introduced, I never went on any of the courses. When whole game was introduced, I never went on any of the courses. So I haven't got a clue how you do it. So if Kat says it works, it works. All right. I'll abscond any responsibility. With our old website, which was great, I helped design it, so I knew I could do everything on it. Now, I can do 3/5 of nothing, so helps me immensely. So any questions about full-time whole game? Kat, you all met Kat now in the corner. Ask Kat, okay? Not me, because I don't have a clue. Anybody else? Don't be afraid. Cool. That's brilliant. Okay, guys, well, look, I'm going to wind it up now. I'm hoping that you've all got your footballs, because I'm told you've all claimed your footballs. Please use the footballs we've provided for you. You are meant to kick off with the league-sponsored ball. If the referee reports that you haven't, then it is a mandatory fine. Handbooks will come out in the next couple of weeks. Roughly, Kat, handbooks? Next week. Okay, so you should get some. You should see some fixtures up on Saturday. If you want to stay around and talk to any of the officers, you're very welcome. You've got about 15 minutes before we'll throw you out, because we've got the next group of people coming in. But all I can say, it's lovely to see you all. One thing I should say, sorry, I missed this bit, it's just come into my head. Discipline, red cards, okay? Please check that you've not got any players carrying red cards over from the end of last season. We always catch 3 or 4 at the start of the season. You go out, you win the first game 3-0, and then you centre forwards on a 2-match ban. Not only do you lose the points, you get a fine, and he gets a further ban. Okay, it should be on your whole game system. Please make sure if you sign a player from a club and you don't know that player's background, please check full time. That's the one thing we will 100% check every single week. Any player that plays under suspension will get everything thrown at them. And for those of you that are new to this, if you get sent off on a Sunday, you are automatically banned the following Sunday, regardless of whether the paperwork's come through. I don't work for the Kent FA. If the Kent FA don't get the paperwork out, your player is still banned. And the number of games that they are banned, of course, depends on the offence. 2 yellows, straightforward. 1, violent conduct, minimum 3. Swearing at Ian Southgate, 4, but it's worth it. 3 or 4. And at the end of the day, okay, the responsibility is 7 days after. Okay, it's only our league that they are then suspended from. It's not all football. Okay, if you've got any issues with that, please ask me, but please check. I have a list of players that are due to be playing in this league at the start of the season. So you will have that list. Don't let the team down by playing and forgetting that those suspensions still apply. And when you do get a red card, please write into the Kent FA the games that your player is going to be missing, because otherwise the charge stays on the sheet that I get. I've still got charges going back to 2014 where the clubs have never actually gone in. They don't take them off. So our discipline report every week is 47 pages long. It's a blooming nightmare, but I can't do nothing about it. So remember that, okay? The red cards do carry over. So, safe journey home, everybody. Thank you ever so much for coming. You've seen a few faces tonight. If you want or need anything, speak to Kat, speak to myself or any of the officers, and look forward to catching up with you during the season. Thank you very much.